Experienced Brooklyn defective road accident lawyer Samantha Kucher. Driving in Brooklyn or anywhere in New York City can be dangerous when considering confusing roadways, aggressive drivers, and constant stop-and-go traffic. Many of our road defects are a veritable obstacle course of areas in chronic states of disrepair and construction. New Yorkers have lived with ongoing potholes, inadequate repairs, road shoulder deterioration, and poor road design for decades. These road hazards cause damage to vehicles, resulting in thousands of dollars in repairs each year. Even more concerning are the accidents they cause, resulting in costly injuries and the loss of human life. If you have been injured in an accident caused by a hazardous road condition in New York City, let the skilled Brooklyn defective road accident attorney Samantha Kucher and her team of injury lawyers at Kucher Law help you hold the responsible party accountable. We have dedicated our practice to helping accident victims in Brooklyn and throughout New York City get the compensation they deserve for their injuries and other damages. The chronic state of disrepair of New York roads. According to the national transportation nonprofit TRIP, it is estimated that approximately 45% of roadways in New York are in disrepair. According to this report, driving on deteriorated roads costs New York motorists $7.7 billion a year in repairs and vehicle depreciation. But even more costly are the injuries and fatalities suffered by those who have been involved in accidents caused by these hazards. In and around New York City, we see many common defects and hazards, including poor design. Unfortunately, many New York City streets were poorly designed. Through the years, the city has been held liable for many injuries and fatalities caused by these poorly designed streets. Insufficient traffic signals and signs. Many of the city's signage and signals are inadequate, unclear, or can't be seen properly. If signs and signals can't be seen or interpreted correctly, this can lead to traffic collisions and injuries. Inadequate drainage. When New York City gets assaulted with hefty rains, the asphalt is unable to soak up the water. It is directed toward clogged gutters and an antiquated sewer system, leaving much of the water to flood city streets for days. Pavement that is uneven and inconsistent. When uneven pavement is not identified or drivers are not adequately warned, they cannot be prepared to adjust their driving habits to proceed more slowly and cautiously. Lack of cautionary signage at hazards or construction zones. Work zones cause confusion for motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians who must navigate through and around them. When these construction zone hazards are not clearly identified, the city or construction company may be found liable for any accidents and injuries that result. Potholes. While they may initially develop due to natural occurrences such as weather and temperature change, they get worse with continuing daily traffic and must be regularly and properly repaired to ensure that they don't cause serious accidents. Who is liable for defective road accidents in New York? State, county, or municipal governments are responsible for road maintenance in and around New York City, depending on the road. But government entities are specially protected from liability as long as they have performed their duties adequately. While injured parties may have the right to sue a government entity or their employees in matters of negligent maintenance or design, it is more difficult to pursue these cases. Potholes in New York City. Vehicles traveling over potholes are often thrown out of control, colliding with other nearby vehicles, objects, pedestrians, or cyclists. In many instances, a looming pothole can result in a vehicle veering off into another lane to avoid it, and even into oncoming traffic. The city is responsible for repairing and maintaining potholes and damaged pavement. When it is negligent about repairing them in a timely fashion, it may be held liable for any injuries and other damages caused by its negligence. The nuances of the pothole law in New York City. New York City Administrative Code 7201, C.2, also known as New York City's pothole law, says that no lawsuits can be pursued against the city for injuries that are caused by a roadway or street that is out of repair, dangerous, or obstructed unless a prior written notice had been provided to the city. In New York City, the Commissioner of Transportation must maintain records of all written notices regarding hazards. The Department of Transportation is required to acknowledge these notices and then take repair action within 15 days of that acknowledgement. If there has been no action to repair or warn of the defect and an injury ensues, the city can be held liable for damages. Unfortunately, this puts the burden of proof on the victim. Premises liability and sidewalk defects. When someone sustains an injury caused by a sidewalk defect, even though the sidewalk is public, the liability can fall on a property owner in some instances. New York City is exempt from liability in accidents caused by sidewalk defects abutting commercial property or residential properties of more than 3 units. In these cases, the property owners is liable for any accidents or injuries that result due to the lack of maintenance or repair of the public sidewalk. Claims against defective road design. Bringing a claim against a government entity for defective or hazardous road design can be especially tricky. It is not enough to prove that a design defect exists. It must also be proven that the design was unreasonable and without adequate study before it was built. Furthermore, the government entity must have been aware of the defective design, had adequate time to rectify it, and failed to do so. Depending on the accident's location, there may be multiple agencies responsible for the construction, design, and maintenance of the roadway in question. Filing an injury claim against the city. If you have been injured due to a defective road in NYC, you will need to understand which entity is responsible for the section of road where the hazard is located. Prove that the entity had received written notice of the hazard and failed to repair it. Prove that the defect caused the accident and injury. If negligence was involved, you might be able to pursue a lawsuit under the Court of Claims Act. This allows you to bring a claim against the government similar to a claim against a private citizen. But there are particular procedures that must be adhered to. You will be required to file a notice of claim, formally notifying the entity of your complaint against them. This makes the appropriate agency aware of your complaint and gives them a chance to respond. If they accept the claim, thereby admitting responsibility, they are agreeing to compensate you for your damages. If they deny your claim, you will then be required to file a formal lawsuit against them. What a Brooklyn defective road accident attorney can do for you. If you have been injured in an accident because of a defective road, you will want the assistance of an attorney with significant experience in these claims. At Kucher Law, our team of experienced lawyers can thoroughly investigate the accident and determine where liability falls. File your claim with the appropriate insurance provider or with the state's or city's comptroller's office. Work with your medical providers to ensure that all your injuries and damages are fully documented. Vigorously fight for fair compensation for your injuries and other damages. Attorney Samantha Kucher is an experienced Brooklyn defective road accident lawyer who has diligently defended her clients in personal injury matters against the city, state, and individual property owners. If you have been injured in an accident due to a road defect, call us at 929-563-6780 or contact us online to schedule a free consultation with our injury lawyers to discuss your case.